Hello everyone and welcome to my The Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint: Kane Ashby may rely on Amanda Sinclair for help to trick Phyllis Summers and put Newman Enterprises back in Victor Newman's hands. In Y&R's February 26th episode, Kane asked Phyllis to at least help him trick Victor into thinking he's won. The goal would be to score Lily Winters and the twins' release before Victor realizes he's been duped. Phyllis wanted to make sure she'd remain in control of Newman the whole time, but it seems like she's considering this Victor trap. However, there's a good chance Phyllis could actually be walking into a trap of her own. After all, it's a terrible idea for Kane to double-cross Victor when he's so scared for his family. If the plan goes wrong, then Kane would surely worry about Lily and his kids paying the price. Even if the scheme works, what's to stop Victor from seeking revenge by kidnapping Lily and the twins all over again? That's the mindset we would expect Kane to have, considering how panicked he's been. It's just tough to believe Kane would add to the risk involved for Lily, Matty Ashby and Charlie Ashby by even considering betraying Victor. Since Victor has been hinting about some other steps he's taken to ensure Kane's cooperation, this might even be his suggestion. Perhaps Victor urged Kane to let Phyllis think she was pulling one over on him as a way to get her on board. It's worth mentioning that Kane has also been in touch with Amanda over the phone. Amanda is working on a plan for Kane as well, so she could become a key player in what comes next for Phyllis. Since Phyllis considers Amanda a friend, she might not suspect Amanda's betrayal. Amanda could make Phyllis think she's signing bogus documents that won't hold up when they're actually legitimate ones that'll transfer ownership back to Victor. Regardless, Phyllis could be making a big mistake if she agrees to help Kane trick Victor. It could lead to Phyllis getting tricked instead and leave her with nothing in the end. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kane will do whatever it takes to free Lily and the twins, so Phyllis will face terrible news eventually. The tension tightens like a slow, suffocating breath as the story unfolds on The Young and the Restless, where desperation, deception, and power collide in a dangerous game with no clear winner. At the center of it all stands Kane Ashby, a man unraveling under the unbearable weight of fear. His family, Lily Winters and their children, Matty Ashby and Charlie Ashby, remain trapped in a nightmare that refuses to end. Every move Kane makes now is fueled by panic, by the haunting knowledge that one wrong step could cost him everything he loves. In the February 26th episode, Kane makes a bold and reckless plea to Phyllis Summers. His request isn't simple, and it certainly isn't safe. Kane asks Phyllis to help him pull off the ultimate illusion, to trick Victor Newman into believing he's already won. The plan is chilling in its simplicity and terrifying in its stakes. If Victor believes victory is his, Kane might be able to secure Lily and the twins' release before the truth comes crashing down. For a moment, hope flickers. But Phyllis doesn't step into this lightly. Control is everything to her, and she makes it clear if she plays along, she stays in charge of Newman Enterprises every step of the way. The idea of outsmarting Victor, of beating him at his own game, is tempting, dangerous, exhilarating. And slowly, despite every red flag waving in her face, Phyllis begins to consider the trap. What she doesn't realize is that the trap may already be closing around her. From the outside, Kane's willingness to double-cross Victor feels impossible to believe. This is a man paralyzed by fear for his family's safety. The risks are staggering. If the scheme fails, there's no doubt Victor would make Lily and the children pay the price. And even if it succeeds, what's to stop Victor from retaliating later, from dragging Lily and the twins back into darkness once again, simply to remind Kane who truly holds the power? That's what makes this situation so unsettling. Kane knows Victor. He knows revenge is never off the table, and yet, despite the danger, Kane pushes forward. Because when your children are on the line, logic gives way to desperation. Adding another layer of unease is Victor himself. He's been dropping ominous hints, suggesting there are other measures already in place to ensure Kane's obedience, measures Kane may not even be aware of yet. It raises a chilling possibility. What if this entire plan wasn't Kane's idea at all? What if Victor planted the seed? What if Victor encouraged Kane to let Phyllis believe she's outsmarting him, knowing full well she's walking straight into a carefully constructed illusion? Behind the scenes, another player quietly moves into position. Kane has been in contact with Amanda Sinclair, who is working on a legal strategy of her own. Amanda isn't just offering advice. She could be the linchpin that makes the entire scheme succeed. And that's where the danger intensifies. Phyllis trusts Amanda. She considers her a friend. That trust could become her greatest weakness. If Amanda presents documents that appear meaningless, worthless paperwork that Phyllis believes won't hold up, Phyllis might sign without hesitation. But those documents could be very real, legally binding. The final step that quietly transfers control of Newman Enterprises right back into Victor's iron grip. If that happens, Phyllis won't just lose a battle. She'll lose everything. The tragedy looming over this storyline is unavoidable. No matter how clever Phyllis believes she's being, agreeing to help Kane could be the worst mistake of her life. The more she thinks she's manipulating Victor, the more likely it becomes that she's the one being manipulated instead. And Kane will do whatever it takes. Every line he crosses, every risk he accepts is driven by one singular goal: to free Lily and the twins. No cost is too high, no alliance too dangerous, which means the fallout is inevitable. Phyllis will face devastating news, the illusion of control will shatter, and when the truth finally emerges, the price of this game of lies, fear, and false victories will be painfully clear. Because in Genoa City, when Victor Newman is involved, no one walks away unscathed. The air grows heavier with every unspoken truth, every calculated smile hiding something far more dangerous beneath the surface. As the plan inches closer to reality, Phyllis Summers begins to feel that intoxicating rush she knows all too well, the thrill of being one step ahead, of believing she's finally cornered Victor Newman. On the outside, she plays confident, composed, even smug. But beneath that polished exterior, unease whispers softly, warning her that something about this feels off. Still, Phyllis presses forward. She convinces herself this is her moment, her chance to outmaneuver Victor, to prove that even the great Newman patriarch can be fooled. What she doesn't see is how carefully the chessboard has already been arranged. Every piece is in place, every move anticipated. Meanwhile, Kane Ashby carries the unbearable weight of his choices alone. Each phone call, each hushed conversation tightens the knot in his chest. His thoughts never stray far from Lily Winters and their children, Mattie Ashby and Charlie Ashby. Their faces haunt him, every smile remembered, every laugh echoing like a reminder of what he stands to lose. Kane tells himself this risk is necessary, that if he can just hold things together a little longer, if he can just convince Victor that he's won, freedom will follow. But fear doesn't loosen its grip, it only tightens. Because deep down, Kane knows Victor never truly loses. He simply waits, and Victor is waiting, watching, measuring, allowing the illusion to play out exactly as planned. Then there's Amanda Sinclair, quietly stepping into her role with devastating precision. Calm, professional, reassuring. To Phyllis, Amanda feels like solid ground, someone safe in a sea of manipulation. That trust becomes the most dangerous weapon of all. The documents are presented casually, almost dismissively. Amanda frames them as procedural nonsense, legal smoke and mirrors that won't amount to anything. Phyllis skims, scoffs, and signs, confident she's too smart to be caught in something so obvious. But the truth is chilling. Those papers are real, binding, final, and with every signature, power quietly shifts back where it's always belonged. By the time Phyllis realizes something is wrong, it may already be too late. The walls will close in fast, the reality crashing down with brutal clarity. The control she fought so hard to maintain could vanish in an instant, leaving her stunned, betrayed, and stripped of everything she thought she owned. As for Kane, his victory, if it comes at all, will be bittersweet. Even if Lily and the twins are freed, the cost will linger like a scar that never fully heals. Victor's forgiveness is a myth, and revenge is merely delayed, never abandoned. And somewhere in the aftermath, as alliances crumble and truths are exposed, one thing becomes painfully clear: This was never Phyllis versus Victor. This was never Kane's game to win. It was Victor's all along. And when the dust finally settles, the Young and the Restless promises that the fallout will be ruthless, emotional, and unforgettable. Because in Genoa City, power always has a price, and someone is always left paying it. The story doesn't end with signatures and silent victories, it lingers, echoing through every corner of Genoa City like a warning bell that won't stop ringing. The moment the truth finally surfaces, it hits Phyllis Summers like a sudden drop with no safety net. 1 second she's standing tall, convinced she outplayed the most ruthless man in the room, and the next, the ground disappears beneath her. The realization creeps in slowly. At first, an offhand comment, a missing safeguard, a look exchanged behind closed doors. And then it slams into her all at once. She wasn't in control. She never was. The betrayal cuts deeper because it came wrapped in familiarity and trust. Phyllis doesn't just lose power, she loses certainty. The confidence that once fueled her every move fractures into disbelief and rage. Every step she took, believing she was ahead of the game, now feels like a carefully guided march straight into defeat. And there's no undoing it. No last-minute reversal, just the cold understanding that she signed her own downfall. Across town, Kane Ashby waits for news with a heart pounding so loudly it feels like it might give him away. Every second stretches unbearably long. He tells himself that if this works, if Lily and the twins are freed, then everything else is worth it. The lies, the manipulation, even becoming a pawn in Victor Newman's game. But relief, when it comes, doesn't feel clean. It's tangled with dread. Because Kane knows better than anyone that Victor doesn't forget. He doesn't forgive, and he certainly doesn't let anyone walk away believing they've beaten him. If Lily and the children are released, it won't be out of mercy. It'll be because Victor has already secured something far more valuable: control. For Lily Winters, Mattie and Charlie, freedom, if it comes, will feel fragile, almost unreal, a breath of air after drowning. But the shadow of what they endured won't fade easily, and neither will the fear that it could all be taken away again. The trauma lingers, unspoken but heavy, settling into the spaces between relief and recovery. And then there's Victor, calm, untouched, unmoved. While everyone else scrambles to understand what they've lost, Victor stands exactly where he intended to be from the start. Newman Enterprises back within his grasp, his authority reaffirmed. His message delivered loud and clear: cross me and you will lose something you can never fully get back. Phyllis will face terrible news, not just about her power, but about how completely she was played. Kane will live with the knowledge that saving his family came at the cost of someone else's destruction and possibly his own future. And Victor will move forward, already planning his next move, because for him, this was never the end. It was only a chapter. As the camera pulls back on Genoa City, the aftermath settles in like a storm cloud, refusing to pass. Alliances are shattered, trust is in ruins, and the emotional wreckage is only just beginning. Because on the Young and the Restless, victory is never simple, and survival always comes with consequences. The silence that follows is almost more terrifying than the chaos that came before. In the aftermath, Genoa City doesn't explode, it freezes. Conversations stop mid-sentence. Doors close a little more carefully. Every character involved feels the shift, like the city itself knows something irreversible has just happened. For Phyllis, the loss isn't just professional, it's personal. Power was never just about business for her. It was identity, armor, proof that she could never be cornered again. Now, stripped of control, she's forced to face something far more unsettling than defeat: vulnerability. The anger comes next, sharp and blinding, burning away the shock. And beneath it all, a single, relentless question pounds in her mind. Who knew, and how long were they laughing behind her back? She'll replay every moment with Amanda, every reassuring word, every calm smile, and with each memory, the betrayal deepens, transforming heartbreak into something far more dangerous. Phyllis doesn't grieve quietly. When she rises from this, and she will, it won't be with forgiveness, it'll be with fire. Kane, meanwhile, doesn't celebrate. Even if the call comes, even if Lily and the twins are finally free, the victory feels hollow in his hands. He's traded one nightmare for another. The guilt gnaws at him because deep down he knows he didn't outsmart Victor, he complied. He played his part exactly as required. And now he waits to see what Victor will ask for next. Because there is always a next thing. For Lily, Mattie, and Charlie, freedom doesn't feel like a clean ending. It feels fragile, like glass that could shatter with one wrong move. Relief comes in waves, tears, embraces, shaky laughter, but so does fear. The kind that lingers in quiet rooms and sleepless nights. They survived, but survival leaves scars, and Kane can't help wondering if his choices ensured their safety or simply postponed the next threat. Victor, of course, remains untouched by the emotional wreckage he's left behind. From his vantage point, this was never personal, it was necessary. Order restored, authority reclaimed, a reminder sent to everyone watching that no matter how clever they think they are, no one outmaneuvers him. Not long term, not without consequences. And the most chilling part? Victor doesn't gloat. He doesn't need to, because the damage speaks for itself. As the dust continues to settle, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This story isn't over, it's evolving. Phyllis is wounded, but far from finished. Kane has his family back, but now owes a debt he may never fully repay. And Victor has proven once again that in his world, mercy is temporary, but power is forever. The stage is set for retaliation, reckoning, and revenge. And as the camera fades out on Genoa City, the promise hangs heavy in the air. What was taken will be fought over. What was broken will cut deeper. And the consequences of this betrayal are only just beginning.